step into the ring, the bell's about to chime. Turnbuckle Talk, we're here to shine. Flagship of the airwaves, leading the pack. Breaking news reviews, we've got your back. From the squared circle to the backstage news, we bring stories that you can't refuse. Turnbuckle Talk, the voice of the fight. Every slam, every suplex, every highlight. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. For the latest in wrestling, we bring the heat. From AEW to WWE, we cover it all from A to Z. Interviews, insights, and match reviews. If it's wrestling news, we've got the clues. From the squared circle to the backstage news, we bring the stories that you can't refuse. Turnbuckle Talk, the voice of the fight. Every slam, every suplex, every highlight. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. For the latest in wrestling, we bring the heat.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday night. It is 8:05 p.m. Eastern. It is time for some Turnbuckle Talk. The future tribal chief? With me, as always, is OMD making his long-awaited return. He is currently stuck in the loop and enjoying the theme song and just bobbing his head to it. But yeah, this has been quite a bit of a week for me on a personal level. A lot of things, a lot of positive things happening in my personal life. Got an interview with a job this Thursday, as we will find out. OMD still in the loop. You enjoying that music there, OMD? Give me that thumbs up or thumbs down if you're liking that tune. He definitely cannot hear me. But yeah, got myself a job interview on Thursday morning. Looking forward to that. Yeah, I think it's OMD is going to probably be stuck in an even bigger loop because I can't really think of anything more to say until he gets out of this loop. This is one particularly long loop that he's in. And he has left the studio. He'll be back shortly, guys. Just waiting on him to come in. As I'm getting the stories for today to get together right now, we've got quite a bit of stories to talk about. Just waiting on OMD to make his presence felt because he's got some of the stories. And all I see is a buffering. Are you out of the loop now?
I am now out of the loop. I had to refresh my page, and all I was getting for you was the buffering loop.
Huh. Well, since it's been like 2 weeks, man, how have you been?
I have been great, man. It has been a busy, hectic 2 weeks between work and doing the dad thing, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I've missed being here. I've missed engaging with all of the people, engaging with you and Carl when possible.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm not gonna play the Showtime loop because I don't want to put you back in there. I think it's time we get right into the stories, though, and I want to start it off with a story that Bubba Duke has specifically asked us to talk about, and that is we got not one but two retirements that happened over the past couple of weeks. One being happened just this past Friday. The one and only Sami Callihan has finally decided to hang up his boots. At TNA Emergence, Sami Callihan left his boots in the middle of the ring, signifying to the world the end of his in-ring career. Callihan announced he would do so if he was defeated by Mike Santana, which was the case. The Death Machine has been a part of wrestling or TNA wrestling since 2017. I believe he came from NXT over to TNA right away.
He did. He was in NXT. I actually never saw him compete in NXT, but he had a lot of stuff going on outside of his TNA career as well with Pro Wrestling Revolver, which he co-owns with Jon Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then of course he had his family, his beautiful wife Jessica Havoc, and just a fantastic competitor. I know one of the more infamous moments that he won't really ever live down was breaking Eddie Edwards' eye socket with a baseball bat.
Yep. So you're the one that knows more about his stuff in TNA. I vaguely remember his NXT run. I remember because he wrestled a Solomon Crow in NXT. And honestly, when he came out with that gimmick, my brain went to Solomon Grundy, Batman villain. I'm like, that was my first initial thought because I was still like, when I first heard of him, I was playing the Batman Arkham series. Then I watched him in NXT, and I'm like, Hunter's got to do something with this guy.
Yeah,
and it sadly didn't come to fruition, but he did. I do feel like when he made that move to TNA, I was worried about the move to TNA first of all because I was still uncertain about what TNA was doing with their wrestlers.
Yep.
And I'm actually glad that he made that move because he kind of helped bring TNA back into the level we're seeing it at now.
Yes. Oh, he was at the forefront of this because TNA had lost so many of their major talents in AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal, and so many more at the time, whether it was to New Japan, to WWE. Sami Callihan really became a driving force. First going in and forming OVE with the Christ brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And then incorporating some of his gimmick, which I believe was supposed to be a hacker gimmick in NXT, into his character before becoming the Draw and then the Death Machine. And just his body of work. And if there's one thing I have to give massive kudos to him for, the first true, in our side and that I can ever remember, male competitor to drop the company's World Heavyweight Championship to a female.
Oh yeah, he was the one on the opposite side when Tessa Blanchard lost it or won it?
Tessa beat
and
it.
You said, and I'm glad you said World Heavyweight because I would have corrected you with China and Jeff Jarrett, of course. But no, you're right. I think it's actually all around the world because I don't know any female who's ever held the IWGP Heavyweight title. Right. I don't know any female who's ever held the AAA Mega title.
Right.
But yeah, I mean the thing with Sami Callihan is he, for me personally, when he has his matches, I'm like, okay, Sami Callihan's got a match, and to me it's like whatever. But then when the match happens, I leave like, okay, that was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
that's literally the way I've always left Sami Callihan matches. It's the same way when I go into watching. Oh, who's that guy from? Oh my God, his name is escaping me. Anyways, it's gonna bug me now. But anyways, no, it's the same way I feel when I watch any hardcore wrestling match, right? Like, because I'm not the biggest fan of hardcore wrestling, and I know Sami is right into that. I go into those matches thinking, oh God, here comes a lot of weapons for no reason.
Yeah.
But Sami gave us reasons for those weapons to be involved.
He did. The other thing that I truly appreciate and liked about Sami Callihan was, even if it wasn't a hardcore match, he was able to add that element just through his moves, his move set, his mannerisms. You know, using the Cactus Driver 97 as a finish. He was able to institute that hardcore element into a straight up wrestling match. And to my understanding, he is settling into a backstage role in TNA.
Yeah, that's what I have heard as well, is that he's going to be going into that that backstage role. I think he's taking on the role of a producer, is what I've heard.
Right. I know he's been very, very active and involved in the creative department as well, which is headed up by Tommy Dreamer. So when you've got Tommy Dreamer and Sami Callihan producing and doing creative, I expect big, big things from TNA.
And the wrestler that I was thinking of was Necro Butcher, by the way. When I go into watching his matches, I know to expect hardcore. But at the same time, when it comes to a guy like Necro Butcher, when it comes to a guy like Sami Callihan, he gives you reasons why those weapons have to be used in those matches.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wish nothing but the best for Sami. I know what hardcore wrestling can do to your body. I know what it has done to my body.
Yep. I am going to say this. If there was one thing I wish I could have seen when Sami was still wrestling, and back when TNA had that very, very brief partnership with AEW, I would have loved to see a reunion of the Switchblade Conspiracy, even for one night.
Yeah, and it's too bad that AEW TNA relationship went the way it did, but it's also a good thing for the WWE and TNA.
Yes. Speaking of the WWE and TNA, there's a little bit of an interesting note that's come out of this partnership.
Yeah, we're not done with talking retired wrestlers, though.
Oh, okay.
Because I did say we have 2 retired wrestlers to talk about.
You did.
And the second one that recently announced his retirement, and all the best to him as well. That is one Jake Hager, the former Jack Swagger, as confirmed by both him and his manager, Dutch Mantel. Let's talk about some of the things we remember about Jack Swagger the most. I mean, for me, it was that unexpected Money in the Bank win at WrestleMania 26. I did not have him on my bingo card to win that match.
That, and then, of course, winning the title by pinning Chris Jericho.
That same week, by the way.
Yeah. Yes.
And then, okay, so here's a hot take, right? A lot of people hated his run with the World Heavyweight title. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked what they did with him when he had the World Heavyweight title. I liked him coming on and being all cocky and singing the Boomer Sooner theme song like he did on that one episode of SmackDown.
Yep.
And he did have a bit of a dominant run with the championship. And I think he dropped it to Rey Mysterio, if I'm not mistaken, who then seconds later dropped it to Kane.
Yeah, I believe so.
But still,
yeah.
And then and then the We the People stuff, because after the World Heavyweight title, he kind of floundered there for a bit, but then We the People happened and he got over big time.
Yes, We the People, and then
to the point where he was he was one of the co-headliners for WrestleMania against Alberto Del Rio, if I'm not mistaken. Del Rio was the heavyweight champion, and Swagger was the challenger.
Yes. Because I believe at that point, yes, Swagger was still doing We the People, and Dutch Mantel, a.k.a. I want to say Jebediah Springfield, but Zeb Coulter.
I almost went with his other gimmick, Uncle Zebekiah.
Was managing Mex America at the time, which I believe was Alberto Del Rio and Cesaro.
Yeah, and I remember talking with people about this. They wanted to see Swagger with another world heavyweight title run at that point too.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate though, like when he left the WWE, he did go into MMA, and he had quite a bit of a run in MMA, wrestling for
He
or
did.
working for Bellator. I really wish that he would have explored that more than going back to wrestling as opposed to going to AEW, because I feel like AEW didn't really know what to do with him
No, they
other
brought
than
him in.
pairing him off with Jericho, which I thought was brilliant. I liked his run there.
I did, but it was also he wasn't brought in to be a competitor. He was brought in to be a heavy, and that just really, for me, didn't suit him.
Yeah, and I found myself wanting to watch him wrestle,
Yeah,
and that's a
and
good
then
thing.
yeah, and then he gets stuck with the whole "I like this hat" gimmick.
Yeah,
Like,
around that time is when I kind of like got done with AEW. But
we know that he did get into some trouble with his political beliefs
I
that
mean,
caused him to get
here's the
pulled
thing
from
when I think
shows.
yeah, here's the thing when I think of wrestlers and their political beliefs. Who the hell cares?
Yeah,
I don't give two craps about what your political beliefs are. If you are entertaining me as a wrestler, good. That's
yeah,
all I want out of you.
yeah. But
And
it
we do know
caused him to get
he also got encountered some legal troubles in the WWE as well. If you remember,
yes,
he did get pulled over for a DUI upon leaving an NXT show in Florida. I believe it was an NXT show he was doing.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, but I remember actually my first time seeing Jack Swagger, and that was on ECW on TV.
Yeah,
And I know that it was Paul Heyman that brought him in for his in ring, because his in ring was actually pretty good.
yeah,
I mean, like he was a tall, lanky dude, but he wrestled like Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn, those kind of guys. The
yeah,
kind of guys that
absolutely.
the kind of guys that Paul Heyman likes.
Yeah,
And that first match, I'm like, I knew there was something special there. And with Jack
yeah.
Swagger, I was right, and I knew he was going to win a world heavyweight title. And again, I was right on that one.
Yes. He also held the ECW title under the WWE branding,
Believe he defeated
which,
Matt Hardy for that title, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, and I believe he dropped it to Bobby Lashley. Did he not? Or did he drop it to Mark Henry?
I think he came into the WC. Oh no, wait. I'm gonna have to look it up. I can't remember who he dropped it to. I want to say it was either one of the two, but
Yes.
I do know that he dropped it because they were planning to move him to Raw or SmackDown. I can't remember which brand they moved him to. Hence
Yes.
why he dropped the title. But Jake Hager, Jack Swagger, as you have also informed us, has retired solely to the fact that, I mean, he's got his own business now. He's running a trucking business, you had told me.
Yes. Yes, he is running a trucking company. He is not driving. It's not really like long haul and cross country, but Florida, Georgia, I believe a little bit up to Tennessee, stuff like that. So running his own trucking company keeps him busy and, keeps him out of trouble. And I mean, I don't know how old he is now, but I'm sure he's probably in his early 40s.
He's around our age, dude.
So
Um,
between 42 and 46.
so I have the official statement from Jake Hager about the retirement here. He actually appears on Soraya's podcast, the latest episode of her Rule Breakers podcast. He confirms that he is officially retired from wrestling. Hager talked about how he is now running a trucking company based in Florida. So that seems to be taking up his time, hence why the retirement. He said, I'm getting out of wrestling. I'm pretty much, I could say I'm retired from it. I started a trucking company running routes through Tampa and Florida. I'm not driving, not me. I got people driving. I'm excited, something to sink my teeth into. So this is why he's retiring. It's taking up his time, and he's really enjoying doing this. And you know what? All the power to him for that.
Yes, absolutely. It's nice to see these guys being able to have something to fall back on and something that they enjoy doing.
And that's the thing too. Like when you get into this kind of the kind of businesses that we're in, whether it's the entertainment doing the podcast thing or the wrestling business, there's one rule and one rule that we're all told: be prepared to have something to fall back on.
Yes.
I remember specifically a movie director who told me this rule, and he's like, when I was starting to make movies, I was working at Boston Pizza. I'd be shooting my movie in the daytime, working Boston Pizza at nighttime.
Yep.
That's how he did it.
Now, with these two retirements, do we see a Hall of Fame for a Jack Swagger?
I don't know. I don't know if he's built that kind of a legacy.
Right.
Sami Callihan, on the other hand, something tells me, because I know he did work for CZW,
Yes.
the 2300 Arena Hall of Fame is probably where he would go.
I can absolutely see that. I can also see him 100% going into the TNA Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Speaking of Hall of Famers, let's talk a little Triple H and some WWE programming in an update from last week's story, where I had reported that WWE is planning an event to go against All Out.
Yes, let's do that. And we will call that up right here, right now. And this is potentially, like, there is no official confirmation on this yet, but they are reportedly planning a surprise ESPN debut in September to compete with AEW All Out. And of course, my article doesn't want to open. Now, this is from PW Insider. Discussions are underway for an unannounced WWE. Ads destroying my feed.
Yeah, there's talks of WWE hosting a PLE under the opposite AEW's All In, or All Out, I should say. But let me just find a better article than what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
Okay, a new report has confirmed the working plan for the main event of WWE's. Yeah, there's an upcoming September 20th PLE, which is going to go up against AEW's All Out. It is rumored to be headlined by one Brock Lesnar and John Cena.
Yes.
And this is courtesy of Figure 4 Wrestling Online. Take it with a grain of salt a little bit there. But there's also reports from Post Wrestling that this is happening, which is where I got the report last week. And it's going to be taking place in Indianapolis, Indiana. The match will end the long feud between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. They're looking at it as doing it as a last match kind of thing. John Cena's last match with Brock Lesnar, similar to the last match with Randy Orton, CM Punk, so on and so forth.
Yes.
It looks like it is going to be scheduled for September 20th. I don't remember what the name of the event was, and I think you had informed me of that last night when we were talking.
I have, and they are going back and dusting off a classic ECW pay-per-view name, WrestlePalooza.
Yeah.
And on top of it potentially being headlined by John Cena and Brock Lesnar, I have also seen reports that may be a last man standing match.
Yeah, and the reason why they're doing this, they're saying it could air on ESPN. They're saying that this is going to be like kind of like a soft launch for the PLE movement to ESPN.
Yes.
A sort of a way to test the waters, as it were. Kind of like I'm gonna say this. Wait, remember when Monday Night Raw made the move to TNN back in 2004? I think I want to say, or sorry, not 2004, 2001, because I remember the first Raw. It was my birthday, and it was Kurt Angle and Stone Cold for the title. um, but I remember, I think it was like about 2 weeks before that, they had Ric Flair come on, and they did a top 10 WWF moments at the time, and they showed like every match in their entirety in that top 10, and it was done so as a way to allow the fans or viewers of TNN understand wrestling. And I can see that that's what they're trying to do with this show too.
Yeah.
If this is even a thing right now, we don't know. We probably won't get any confirmation. Probably, I would say we won't get any confirmation until Clash in Paris.
See, and I have heard as early as tomorrow we will get that confirmation.
Yeah, I'm not expecting an official on TV announcement until about Clash in Paris.
Oh, see, I'm expecting if they're going to make the announcement tomorrow, it's going to be really dropped on Friday.
Mm-hmm. But going up against All In or All Out, is this do you find this kind of petty for both companies to be doing this kind of thing?
You know, I was thinking about this earlier, and I can understand that, and to a point, yes. But in this case, I also don't think really WWE is getting a whole lot of a say in this. I think this is coming from TKO. I think this is actually coming from now ESPN as well as potentially Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand it because this is one of the things that is really causing that divide between the AEW fans and the quote unquote E-drones. In this whole just enjoy wrestling. Do you remember, back when it was WWE and WCW, we here in Canada, we had the luxury of Monday Night Raw, watching Nitro on Tuesdays, and then we would get the pay-per-views on back-to-back weekends. So one weekend you could go and watch SummerSlam, the following weekend Bash at the Beach.
Yeah, or Hog Wild. Hog Wild also aired it. Was an August show.
Yeah.
But and that's where I was going to get to, because in 1987, when Vince McMahon decided he was going to run Survivor Series against Starrcade, I don't know if you know this story, but he called all the pay-per-view providers and said, do not show Starrcade, show my show. If you decide to show Starrcade, you are not getting WrestleMania 4. Yes. He threatened the pay-per-view providers with this, and the pay-per-view providers, all the cable companies, got together and they were like, look, enough is enough, guys. You guys got to schedule your pay-per-views on different days. No competitions for the pay-per-views. Just do them. If WCW has a pay-per-view scheduled for September 20th, we'll say September 27th, do a WWF pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that. And I'm on that side still, where
I am too.
I don't really like that idea.
No.
I mean, take a look at All In, right? The weekend of All In, we had that day Worlds Collide by the WWE being run, and AAA.
Yep.
And that night we had Saturday night's main event.
Yes.
Both of them interrupting the opening of All In and the end of All In.
Yep.
and this is probably the first time in a long time you guys are going to hear me kind of defending AEW on this one, because I'm just not a fan of running wrestling pay-per-view wrestling companies up against each other on the same night. And I'm sure we've
No.
got it in the 90s anyways, you know. But
Yeah. I mean, but if you take a look at something like a WrestleMania weekend, where that host city is not just playing host to WrestleMania. You've got WrestleCon. You've got TNA coming in to do a show. You get New Japan doing a New Japan Pro Strong show in the nearby vicinity. You get a TNA pay-per-view usually on the Friday night. So you are getting all of this in that city.
yeah, but
So
the thing
I
is,
don't know why you're trying to take wrestling away from the fans.
the thing is though, and I'm also on the side that I like having that choice of which shows I'd like can watch that weekend.
Yeah.
But when you're mentioning WrestleMania weekend, a lot of those shows are taped for future weeks to be taped, so, or to be shown on TV. So
They are. Like I know the old school Ring of Honor used to do their pay-per-view on the Saturday night. TNA's gotten into doing their pay-per-view on the Friday night for a weekend like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you would get GCW is notorious for running a show on, late Friday night, like starting at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
So you get, and then you got like WrestleCon, where it's another event to buy a massive ticket for, to go and get autographs and all of that from non-WWE competitors. But you look at how the wrestling world and the wrestling community comes together for that weekend, and nobody is really competing with another company. It's a matter of, let's celebrate our industry. So
Yeah.
I don't like the fact. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm rushing out to order All Out on Amazon and pay $65. But I am, I'd like to have that option that I can watch it and then watch the WWE the following week. Or even the following night.
But here's the other thing, like, especially up here in Canada, we have that option where we can order the AEW pay-per-view, and then just if WWE's holding a show that night, say it's Saturday night's main event, we can tune in Sunday afternoon and watch that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we're looking at this for the people in the States now with all that. I think even on ESPN Plus, though, when it goes there, you'll be able to watch the pay-per-view like the next day if you don't want to watch the WWE show.
Yeah.
But
so
AEW, in a sense, they don't. Do they have a streaming platform? I don't think so.
Prime and Max.
Okay, so yeah, at that same time, you pay that $65 or whatever it is. You kind of want to watch it right then and there.
Yeah.
So exactly. I still can't justify paying $65 for a pay-per-view,
No,
even though I did the math last week for everybody who's for the TNA pay-per-view or for WWE pay-per-views. I mean, if you decide to keep with ESPN, you're actually going to be paying a lot less.
Yes.
Because I looked at this and I said this last week. You got to, if you're switching over to Netflix, to Netflix Canada, now you're paying for your Netflix. Now you're paying for a VPN, and a VPN can run you up to $30. Already, you're right at that cost. Then there's the cost of your internet, depending on what you're paying. Now you're paying close to like $100-something there.
Yep.
Whereas
and when I looked at that deal, because that was everybody's biggest complaint, and that is just in the United States alone. The rest of the world, it is all on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So it even said, if you already have cable and ESPN, you're not going to get charged for it. If you've got the YouTube TV, you're not going to get charged for it. But what they are looking at is literally, okay, let's say Netflix for Raw. Now you've got to have cable to get CW for NXT and then USA on a subscription package to get SmackDown. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at the overall instead of looking at, okay, what do we have? How can we make this cheaper for ourselves? I know for a fact, like I've spoken to a good friend of the show in the Bulkster. He is paying for a VPN to get Netflix Canada so that he can watch everything.
But at the same time, you know what? Let's stick with AEW. We'll put that on the back burner right now. As more will come out within the coming weeks, we will report on it. Let's stick with AEW and a certain wrestler who wants out. A new report has provided an update on the contract status of one AEW's Danhausen, confirming that he will remain within the company well into 2026. The extension is reportedly due to time he missed for injury and was apparently done against his wishes. According to Fightful Select, Danhausen's original AEW contract was scheduled to expire on July 1st, 2025. However, due to the time he was on the shelf with a torn pectoral muscle, his contract has now been extended. Has been extended and will now run into 2026. The report adds a significant layer to the story, noting that his extension was apparently against his wishes. According to the outlet, it was believed he requested that they didn't pick up his option, and he was ready to leave the company. This sounds like Ray Fenix all over again.
It does. And see, for me, again, this headline seems a little misleading because injury time added on is not an option. An option would be, okay, I've signed a 3-year deal with an option to add 2 more years. So this is just injury time being added. And we've seen this throughout wrestling. I mean, we saw it, yes, with Ray Fenix. We saw it a number of years ago in the WWE with the late Luke Harper, Brody Lee, where this injury time gets added on. And I, for one, like, if a wrestler is injured and their contract expires, then just let them go.
Yeah, and see, that's where it is an option because AEW probably put in the contract that said AEW reserves the option to add time if you're injured. But because he requested not that they don't pick up that option because it's clear that he wants out.
Yeah, well, I mean, besides the injury, he hasn't been used. And I mean,
he was barely used when he was healthy.
No, he was used in, the entertainment, the R-Truth capacity. So he was getting a lot of screen time, not a lot of in-ring time. He's always been a very, very entertaining wrestler. And I'm going back to his time in the original Ring of Honor. And then this. And I love Danhausen. I do. So I really do want to see him. I think this is going to be one of those situations where the public outcry for Danhausen and the free Danhausen movement will get him released early.
And when we were talking about this off screen last night, I can't help but see this. Him going to either TNA or AAA. And if he goes to AAA, he joins the Psycho Circus with Pagano and Psycho Clown. Yeah, I just can't see just because I know the Danhausen character is owned by Danhausen himself.
Yes,
so he can take that gimmick wherever he goes.
Yes,
and I just can't see. I just can't help but see that character would be so fitting for the Psycho Circus.
It would. We know that there is heavy interest from WWE,
and I would be cool with that.
But where do you put him? Like, in all honesty, really the best place I could see him fit right now would be alongside R-Truth and doing the very, very nice, very, very evil thing and trying to curse Aleister Black.
Okay, yeah, if you were to throw him straight to the main roster, but I would put him on NXT at first.
So would I.
I would give him. I
But
would put him in NXT for like a year or two, so that fans can know him, and then the casual fans who do tune into NXT, because I know that that does happen, will get to
yep.
learn who he is.
But what do you do with him in NXT?
Um,
Do you put him alongside
put
of
it,
Tatum Paxley?
put him. Well, no, Tatum Paxley's doing the thing with Sean Spears right now, so. Although him and Tatum would be awesome together because I love Tatum Paxley and what she's doing,
Yep.
but I would put him in the North American title picture.
Okay.
I'd build him up to that. You can still have him do like this funny evil gimmick thing,
Yep.
and you could use that and take that comedy gimmick and play mind games on Ethan Page, who is the North
Yeah.
American champion, and this leads to that. It could be you could do that with Dan. You could do okay. So let's take the Kazarni gimmick, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought should have succeeded. Danhausen can make something like that succeed. You take the Danhausen character, and that's kind of like what I was expecting out of Kazarni.
Yeah.
You can take that, and he does all the mind games, all the funny psycho stuff,
Yeah.
and he gets over, wins the North American title somewhere down the line. I don't know what you do with him in the main roster, because that's like 4 years down the road, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
but Danhausen, I think, but on TNA, I mean, the sky's the limit for what you can do with him on TNA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
But also the sky's the limit if you put him anywhere. Like I said, AAA with Psycho Circus, I think that would be a fun gimmick there. Fun to watch him do. Here's another one that I thought about. If you put him in TNA and maybe team him with the Hometown Man, that could be a funny gimmick.
Yeah, that could be hilarious. And this is again a case where I wish TNA still had a guy like Crazy Steve. Because Crazy Steve with Danhausen would be epic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would be all about that too. But since we're talking about wrestlers who are on the move, we have some confirmation about a move as well. LA Knight is now officially a member of the Raw roster. Now, granted, we know that we kind of got that feeling that because he's been on Raw for the better part of the last month and a half. But it does seem he's an official member of the Raw roster. Thus, the Sami Zayn move over to SmackDown. I still think that was the trade right there. What do you see with LA Knight right now? I know he's going after the heavyweight title. Does he stay in the main event scene after that?
I really don't think so, to be honest. And it is disappointing to say because he deserves it. But I think this issue that he has had with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed really culminated at Night of Champions when Seth got injured. And then it sort of dropped any real momentum he had. Then we've seen him getting in the face of CM Punk, and I think that is the direction you're going. I think you're going to see one of those two guys actually become the heel, more so LA Knight right now. And that is your rivalry, CM Punk and LA Knight.
That's still a main event feud, though, basically. So he would be staying in the main event to a degree.
I don't see the title coming into play in that, to be honest.
But again, you don't need the title to be a main event wrestler.
No, you don't.
I do see great things. I do see big things for LA Knight. I do see him. I did want to pick him as my winner of the Royal Rumble, but I don't think he is now.
No.
I'm leaning towards Sami Zayn winning the Rumble now.
Wow.
But I do see LA Knight making it to the final four, at least. I don't know who the other two could be. Maybe we're looking at one of them, and maybe you mentioned one of them in CM Punk. But if you look at where the Royal Rumble is being located, I mean, it makes sense for Sami to be the winner. Just saying.
Yes, it does.
But this is I think this is an interesting move. I think this is a better move for LA Knight, to be honest with you, because I feel like a lot of the stuff he was doing on SmackDown, while they were great, he was kind of running out of steam. There was I think he ran through all the opponents he needed to over there.
Yeah, I think, yes, he was stagnating. And I do think that you have to turn either him or Punk heel in this situation. And honestly, I would love to see it if you have LA Knight turn heel and become that fourth guy in the Vision.
See, I don't know if I like that. Not sure if I like that at all, because that just, to me, that's kind of like when Vince McMahon and Stone Cold decided to team up. That made no sense.
Yeah, but see, when we were like going back to SummerSlam, because we all bit on Seth Rollins' injury and the ruse, I had LA Knight going and filling that leadership role. Now, if you want to give LA Knight a clear direction and to help hold the power, we know that Braun Breaker is a future WrestleMania main eventer and all of that he's being hyped up to be. But I think you can get that Intercontinental title to LA Knight, get the tag team titles on Braun and Bronson, and then you've got all the power.
I don't know. To me, it just sounds like if you can't beat him, join him, and that's not LA Knight's character at all. LA Knight was not happy with that win, hence why he's going after Seth Rollins. He was not happy with the way Seth Rollins cheated him out of that win, essentially. He still got the win, but cheated him out of the match, I should say, actually.
Yeah. Oh, I'm well aware of that. But that was the whole mentality I've had with this, because, you know, he was so focused on Braun and Bronson and them going back and forth that then the way he won that match with Seth getting injured, like after this title match at Clash in Paris, I don't see anything happening before that title match, but I think that after that, you're going to start to see the inklings of a heel turn.
But we got further WWE news. We're going to move quickly on from LA Knight. I'm happy that he's over on Raw. I'm excited to see what he does. But we've got a news story about Monday Night Raw being moved to a different time. It looks like for a few days in September, they are going to be moving the show up 1 hour.
Yes.
It says for 3 dates. I can't remember exactly which dates they are because my the article is screwed up on me.
But I had
okay, go ahead.
I have the article. So the WWE website has updated the start times for the following events. September 15th, Raw in Springfield, Massachusetts is now listed for a 6:30 p.m. local start time. September 22nd in Evansville, Indiana is now listed at 5:30 start local or a 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So that's an hour and a half ahead of the regular start time. And September 29th in Raleigh, North Kakalaki, now listed as a 6:30 start time. Typically, arena doors open 30 to 60 minutes before the live broadcast begins. These new 6:30 p.m. Eastern start times suggest that the main Raw broadcast could begin at 7 p.m., a full hour earlier than its long-standing traditional time slot.
Yeah, because it's saying like it says start time at 6:30, but that's when you're looking at WWE events, that's actually the time the doors open.
Yes.
So yeah, 7 p.m. start time, 1 hour. 1 hour. That's not going to affect us. We can do it at 7 p.m.
You know what? I could see very easily those being, you know, okay, well, let's open the doors early and we're going to start main event at 6:30 so that then you get the half hour to transition from main event to Raw.
Yeah, and supposedly this is done to this is more than likely a strategic decision to avoid direct full-length competition with Monday Night Football on ESPN, which begins its regular season in September.
Yeah.
But most Monday Night Football games don't, they start at 8 p.m. too, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
So if you can
7
hook the people in, they can flip over to ESPN afterwards to watch Monday Night Football.
Yeah, so if you're going to do that, okay, so this is where you want to make the main event, one of your main events, your first show, your first match of the night. I mean, and I'm looking at this the way they used to do it for Saturday night's main event in the 80s, where at 11:30 p.m., because it was so late, they had Hulk Hogan wrestle first.
Yes.
So that the kids could watch Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
And then the rest of the matches were for the rest of the wrestling fans, I guess you can say. I don't know if this is gonna affect WWE in any way or even ESPN in any way, because regardless of what's going on as far as football or Raw goes, you're going to pick either or. Like, I know for a fact I'm still going to probably watch Raw when the Bengals have their Monday night game, and I'm more than likely just going to have the Bengals game on another screen somewhere.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I don't. The move sort of makes sense, sort of doesn't, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you. I mean, we've already seen it. I mean, one of the big things with that, again, back to the September 20th show as well, is it's a Saturday night, which is college game day in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the big one on Saturday nights and on ESPN. So you're now putting yourself on the same network and in direct competition with those things. So I can't really see it as being that strategic a move. I just think that it's really to fluctuate and match what is 8 p.m. here.
And here's the other thing too. Like, I'm looking at like the North Carolina dates, for instance. I know a lot of cities actually have curfews for events to come to an end. So maybe that's something else that they're thinking about too, you know?
Yeah.
So it's neither here nor there, but we're closing in on our 1 hour here. So we've got to get right into our showstopper segment. But before we do that, why don't we show everybody what's going on with the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, starting with that old saying from Uncle Sam, we want you.
A Turnbuckle Affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today, because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday we go TNA when we brace for Impact at 7:55 p.m. Eastern. Friday we secure all details as we answer the call for the SmackDown security detail at 8 p.m. Eastern. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
On his feet. Oh my God in heaven!
That's right, guys. It is our showstopper segment. OMD is in the loop, but we are talking about the future tribal chief. As reported last night on Monday Night Raw, and he's acknowledging the future tribal chief. As discussed last night on Monday Night Raw, and as was suspected, Naomi has announced that she is expecting a child. Let's talk about what this could do for the women's division as far as the future of the women's division goes. Naomi relinquished the title in the middle of the ring, didn't relinquish it to Adam Pearce. Kicked Adam Pearce out of the ring and then put the title down.
Yep.
What does this mean for the women's division? Where are we going with this? I personally think that we are going to get our former champion, the woman she took the belt off of, Io Sky, gaining that match to face Stephanie Becker for the title at Clash in Paris.
Right. I said this last night, and I know that Stephanie earned her title shot, but I think you need to blank slate all of it. And I want to keep, for me personally, just because, we've seen it at WrestleMania, we saw it at SummerSlam, I want to keep Rhea and Io away from the title for right now.
Mm-hmm. But guess who else earned her title shot and didn't get it? Io Sky. She earned that number one contenders, remember?
No, I don't.
She did. She earned it 3 weeks ago.
So, because you've got a Lyra Valkyria who you can now get into that title picture, you've got this new gimmick that you're bringing Bayley out with. If Bianca is healthy, you can move her over to Raw. You could bring a Jade Cargill over to Raw now to really throw some salt in the wound for Naomi having to relinquish it. I think there's just too many paths to go. I can understand keeping Stephanie Becker in that title picture. But again, I think you need to do a tournament over the next couple of Raws to determine who the two competitors for Clash in Paris.
Why not just do a tournament to see who faces Stephanie Becker? And then that winner gets the title shot.
I do think that in that situation that Stephanie Becker has the distinct advantage. And then it looks like they are putting the strap right on her. I think this way,
I think that's where they were going anyways, regardless if Naomi had the title or not. I think Stephanie was going to take it off her anyways.
See, and I like Stephanie, but I really hope not. I said this last night as well, like personally, on a personal note, congratulations, Trinity. Congratulations, Jim. On a professional level, the way Naomi had worked and gotten this new character, this new gimmick over, and the way she was cooking from Money in the Bank through the title win and through now was fantastic. And I wanted them to keep her cooking with that title for a while longer. So on a professional level, my opinion, it sucks. I think they should have kept Naomi. Now, we also saw that Becky Lynch made a joking tweet about how irresponsible is it to get pregnant as champion last night.
When she herself did it.
Yes. So
and that leads me to the other thing that I'm gonna rant on right now. The fans who are saying that. I'm not gonna swear here, but F those fans.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Those fans who just don't understand like the women's wrestling. It happens all the time. A women's pregnancy can slow down a push. Look at what happened to Alexa. Well, it doesn't slow down a push. It just preempts the push, we'll say. Because Alexa Bliss, Becky, now Naomi. Naomi, when she comes back, I guarantee you, she is going to be incredibly over.
Yes. And I mean, let's look at other ones. The former Lacey Evans, who got pregnant as a competitor. Let's look at Asuka, who is a mother of 2. Look at Jade Cargill, who is a mother of 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got both Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyria, who are engaged. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 5 years with them if they're going to become moms.
And it even happened with Karma, even though she did have, sadly, she had a miscarriage during that time.
Yes.
And I for one, am excited about this. I'm happy with that, that this is going on for Naomi.
Me too.
Because that means in 18 years, we're still going to see the bloodline. We're still going to see the Anawahi family continue.
Yes, 100%.
But on that note, I do wish nothing but the best for Naomi and Jimmy. We know that, well, Jimmy's going to still be around for the next year or so because Naomi's going to be gone for a year. That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
But when she does come back, I'm going to make a bold prediction for 2026, but maybe she becomes the, I want to say, second two-time Money in the Bank winner, because the first one was Carmella.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
That's depending on what it's like, because I know even after the child is born, in the case of Alexa Bliss, she took another year to come back. So it could be even 2 years. So
yes,
but
I mean, you are looking, because you do have to deal and take into account all of the things postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take into how is that child going to be raised? Like, are you going to raise her on a bus the way Cody and Brandy do with Libby, with the way Seth and Becky do with Rue? Or do you want them at home and to have that stable family life like Miz and Maurice have? Or Triple H and Stephanie, although their daughters are getting older.
Yeah, those are the things that we've got to look at. And again, a big, huge congratulations goes out to Naomi and Jimmy. Again, looking forward to our future tribal chief or chiefess, if that's what they call female chiefs.
I'm going to do the two.
I'm acknowledging. But on that note, OMD, we did hit our 1 hour mark here. What do you say we give out those good old socials? I'm going to actually start off with the man who is missing, just so we can give him some of our loving. Carl Carafel. If you want to follow him, find him at his link tree, lanktr.ee/Carl Carafel. KarlKarufel. And I think I'm lagging just a little bit here. OMD, where can the people find you?
For myself, ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for me and you want to make contact, Linktree, linktr.ee/OMD show. Visually, you can find me right back here tomorrow night on Turnbuckle Studios alongside this man on the Wednesday PlayStation Showcase. And for yourself, Mr. Best.
Just give me 1 second here. I lagged out just a little bit here.
Yeah.
But you can find me at my link tree, lanktr.ee/Chris_best83. Am I here? Am I back?
Seem to be. We got your link tree.
Okay, sorry. If it on the OMD, what are those famous words we like to go out on?
Ladies and gentlemen, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there wherever you are, good night, good luck. We out.
flagship show setting the tone. In the world of wrestling we stand alone. With news and reviews we lead the way. Turnbuckle Talk every day. Turnbuckle Talk every day.